Season underway with PSG easing to a 4-1 win at Le Havre, 4 different scorers sharing the load as late goals sealed a routine start in the top 4 chase. Momentum carried home as Barcola led a 6-0 rout of Montpellier with a brace, the rest shared around on a comfortable night. On the back of that big win, PSG kept it moving with a 3-1 success at Lille. A Vitinha penalty setting the tone before Barcola and a late Kolo Muani strike closed it out. Dembélé fronted a 3-1 against Brest at the Park, a composed double wrapped around Fabien Ruiz's finish on a steady league night. Without Mbappé, could shared goals carry them under Europe's brightest glare? The Champions League campaign opened with a tight 1-0 over Girona, settled late by an own goal at the Park. After that European opener came a measured 1-1 at Reims, where Dembélé cancelled out Nakamura for the away point. Back in Paris, Barcola struck twice in a 3-1 win over Rennes, a tidy response after the draw. The Champions League stage trip to the Emirates saw PSG beaten 2-0 by Arsenal on a night that checked the momentum. After the Arsenal setback, PSG steadied with a 1-1 at Nice, level thanks to an own goal. Home comforts returned in a 4-2 over Strasbourg, with 4 different scorers keeping PSG in front despite replies from Mara and De Jong. From league business back to Europe, Hakimi cancelled out Lang in a cagey 1-1 with PSV. From PSV at the Park to the Velodrome, PSG swept Marseille 3-0, helped by an own goal in a controlled win. Dembélé's early strike made it 1-0 against Lens at the Park, stretching the league unbeaten run to 10. Back under European lights, Atletico nicked a late winner as PSG fell 2-1 despite Zaire-Emery's opener. The Atletico setback eased at Angers, where Barcola reached 10 league goals with a brace, and Lee Kang-in also scored twice in a 4-2 win despite late consolations. Momentum carried back to the Park, where a steady 3-0 over Toulouse kept the league streak at 5, João Neves opening before late goals from Beraldo and Vitinha. That 5-game league run met a tougher European turn in Munich, where Bayern edged it 1-0 through Kim Min-jae. Back from Munich, Hakimi's early strike was answered by Abline as Nantes held PSG to 1-1. The league drift continued at Auxerre, where it finished 0-0 in a flat stalemate. Europe brought the sharper response, a composed 3-0 at Salzburg, with Gonzalo Ramos, Nuno Mendes and Dowie on target. Back to league business at the Park, PSG beat Lyon 3-1 with a late Ramos clincher to extend the unbeaten run to 15. Out in Monaco, Dembélé's brace headlined a 4-2 comeback that kept PSG rolling away from home. Into the Coupe de France, a 1-1 at Lens went to penalties, PSG advancing 4-3 in the shootout. That cup escape gave way to silverware on neutral ground, Dembélé's late strike beating Monaco 1-0 to lift the Trophée des Champions. Back at the Park after that trophy night, Dembélé's brace, including a penalty, made it 2-1 against Saint-Etienne. Cup duty stayed lively at Espali Saint-Marcel, where 4 different scorers overturned an early scare to send PSG into the round of 16. Back to the league at Lens, Fabien Ruiz levelled before Barcola's late winner sealed a 2-1 comeback. That comeback edge carried into Europe, and Manchester City were beaten 4-2 at the Park as Dembélé and Barcola flipped the night before PSG pulled clear late. After that Manchester City surge, league business cooled into a 1-1 with Reims as Dembélé's strike was matched by Nakamura. Switching back to Europe on the road, Dembélé's hat-trick hat-trick powered a 4-1 over Stuttgart to close the league stage in style. The domestic march continued as Dembele's hat-trick and a late Gonzalo Ramos double sealed a 5-2 at Brest, stretching the league unbeaten run to 20. Cup progression continued with a 2-0 win at Le Mans, Doué and Barcola sending PSG into the quarters. Back at home, Dembele's double capped a 4-1 over Monaco after Vitinha and Kvaratskhelia had set the platform. Champions League knockout opened with a composed 3-0 first-leg win at Brest, Dembele's double alongside a Vitinha penalty. With the Brest first leg in hand, Fabian Ruiz decided a tight 1-0 at Toulouse. With the first leg already in hand, PSG turned the return into a 7-0 procession over Brest, 7 different scorers sealing the round of 16. On league duty in Lyon, Hakimi's brace proved the difference in a 3-2 thriller, PSG surviving a late push. Cup quarter-final dominance as Gonzalo Ramos hit a hat-trick in a 7-0 win over Briochin, booking a semi-final spot. The cup procession spilled back into the league, a 4-1 over Lille at the Parc with 4 different scorers stretching PSG's scoring run to 10. The round of 16 opened on edge at the Parc, Liverpool snatching a late 1-0 to leave the tie finally poised. The Liverpool setback brought an immediate response at Rennes, where Barcola and Gonzalo Ramos scored before Dembele reached 20 league goals with a late double in a 4-1 win. That Rennes response only sharpened the trip to Anfield, where Dembele's early goal levelled the tie before PSG won the shootout 4-1 to advance. Back home after European progress, PSG beat Marseille 3-1, helped by an own goal and with European qualification secured. Away at Saint-Etienne, Doué's brace fronted a 6-1 comeback that clinched the championship and locked in Champions League football. Into the Coupe de France semi-final, Dembele's brace and a strong second half turned a 2-down start into a 4-2 win and a place in the final. With the cup final booked, Doué's second half finish decided a tidy 1-0 over Angers back at the Parc. Quarter-final first leg at the Parc, PSG came from behind to beat Aston Villa 3-1, Nuno Mendes adding a late cushion. At Villa Park, a 3-2 loss still sent PSG through, Hakimi and Nuno Mendes striking on the night to finish the quarter-final job. Gonzalo Ramos marked 15 for the season as PSG edged Le Havre 2-1 at the Parc to make it 10 straight league wins, with Doué also on the scoresheet. The streak paused with a 1-1 at Nantes, a result that nonetheless extended the league unbeaten run to 30. Back home, Nice snapped the streak with a 3-1, Sonson's brace and Ndiaye Shimié doing the damage despite a Fabian Ruiz reply. The Nice stumble gave way to a bigger European answer, Dembele striking early as PSG won the semi-final first leg 1-0 at the Emirates. After that semi-final edge, the league grind bit back with a 2-1 defeat at Strasbourg, derailed by an own goal. The Strasbourg detour mattered little back at the Parc, Fabian Ruiz and Hakimi delivering a 2-1 over Arsenal to reach the final despite a missed PSG penalty. With the final secured, Mayorless opener gave way to a Gonzalo Ramos hat-trick in a composed 4-1 at Montpellier. At the Parc, Kvaratskhelia brace steered a 3-1 comeback against Auxerre despite a missed penalty, as PSG made it 20 straight league games with a goal. Cup final focus took over at the Stade de France, Barcola's brace and a Hakimi strike delivering the Coupe de France with a commanding 3-0 over Reims. From one final to the biggest of all, PSG thrashed Inter 5-0 to lift the Champions League, Doué's double headlining the rout. Freed from the need to serve a superstar, PSG spread the goals and found a harder, cleaner edge, with Dembele's 33 setting the tone rather than setting the agenda. The league campaign never loosened its grip, first place at a title-level pace, and the Coupe de France was lifted without blurring the focus. Under European lights, that same cohesion travelled. The system held on the biggest stage, and they beat Inter in the final to bring the UEFA Champions League to Paris. A statement night for a side playing as one. Thank you for watching Scoreflow. Like, share and subscribe.